What is up, guys? My name is Zoe, and I would like to welcome you to Bootcamp. And first off, say congratulations, guys, because we believe that you are making a decision that could potentially change your life forever. And quite honestly, we are honored that you've chosen us to be the people that train, teach, mentor you, and partner with you to help you create success in your Amazon journey and Amazon business. So,
hey guys, so the clip that I just showed you was from the KT V.I.P Bootcamp overview video. So if you're watching this, you're obviously either interested in the bootcamp, interested in KT V.I.P, or just interested in getting into 9 University for their Amazon FBA program. And what this video is designed to do is to look specifically into the 14-day bootcamp to see what exactly they're showing you, how much of it applies to the knowledge that you get, and how much of it is the program in general. If there's more that they offer other than 14 days worth of videos. So we're going to take a look up on my screen here and decide whether or not this KT V.I.P program and the bootcamp is a waste of time or if it's something that's worth your investment. So without further ado, let's get right in. So, like I said right here, you have the bootcamp overview, and below it they have each day a video and an optional assessment, video, optional assessment, and that goes on for all 14. So, first off, after every day that they do a video, they have an optional assessment that you can do. The optional assessment isn't something that they take into account. It's more something that you can use to test yourself and your knowledge and to kind of help you decide how invested you really are in this program. For example, for the first day, you have motivation for the journey. So for the first day, it shows Kale, and he basically talks about how this is something that you need to be motivated to do. You have to have the drive to do it. He spends the whole first day, I think it's one of the longer videos, yeah, a little shorter than an hour, talking about how you need to be invested, how you need to, be motivated to do this, and that as long as you have that, you are capable of doing it. Which is a great thing to hear. But after he talks about that, then you can do an optional assessment that kind of tests your knowledge of what he said, some of the things that you need for motivation and stuff like that. Obviously it's not like, I believe you're given a grade at the end of it, but that's not super important because it's just for you to understand what exactly you've absorbed from these videos. You can even see here on the actual video page, it tells you what's on the agenda, some of the things that he talks about, and then there's like a little bit of homework that you can do. Again, it's not something that you have to do, but it's something that's optional for you to kind of understand exactly how you feel about this and how much you're absorbing the information. And this is done each day, but they talk about something totally different each time. Like on day 2 here, it's vision and mindset, the key to it all. And that's another thing that I noticed when going through this. The first 2 days are dedicated to just you deciding that this is what you want to be doing. You have the motivation, the vision, and the mindset. It's all about them just kind of prepping your mind and saying, all right, this isn't easy, but we're going to help you with we're going to help you figure out exactly what you need to do this. And the optional assessment is the way for you to interact with it and figure it out. So then you start, as the days go on, you start to get into things like product research. Now, they start to tell you about things like Helium 10 and Boost 9, which are things that they've worked on or created themselves. Like I actually have the extension for Boost 9 here. If I go to Amazon.com, I've demonstrated this in other videos, but if you look up something like a towel rack, maybe you're interested in selling towel racks, you can click on the Boost 9 extension, which pulls it up on your browser and tells you your 7 for 7 score. It says that right here, finding 7 for 7s, and they basically teach you how to download this extension and to use it for looking at products. Now it tells you here 9 out of 10 products have revenue over $5,000, which is good, but 0 out of the 10 products have reviews under 75, which means that this has too much competition. The reason they say 7 for 7 is because 7 for 7, the 7 for 7 score, which they've apparently trademarked, cool, means that it's right at that point that it's not too competitive, but there's still reviews kind of, it's still getting sold, so it's bustling. And then 7 out of the 10 products have revenue over $5,000, which is good enough. This is obviously super invaluable. It's honestly like one of the bigger things that I tested out, looked around at different products for when I was going through the boot camp. But obviously, that's one of the bigger things that they talk to you about, is how you figure out how to find different products and stuff like that. They teach you exactly what you need to find products and what exactly it means to have a good product that's worth selling. And they go over that for the next couple of days there. Now, you start getting into things later on, like finding your supplier, which they talk about, setting up an Alibaba account so that you can go on there and find items. For those of you who don't know, Alibaba, they tend to sell items in stock so that you can buy with the intent of selling to other people. And then creating your brand. Now, obviously, this is a very important part of any business, but in this video, they basically go over, company name, coming up with logos, stuff like that. Right, and then basically the importance of color scheme too, which is another important thing that people tend to overlook, is when you are trying to invest yourself in a brand recognition is extremely important. Obviously, things like Apple. Obviously a very commercialized and very cliche example, but the logo, their color scheme, because they have a good sense of graphic design. So even though that doesn't have something specific to do with Amazon FBA, it still helps your brand get recognized out there, which can help you get loyal clients and loyal customers. Which kind of brings up another point about this, that with this bootcamp, although these videos typically aren't long, like again, this one is about 10.5 minutes, they really get into some of the important things that you need to know for this type of stuff. They could obviously just get into it, say, here's the programs that you got to look at. They could say you want Boost 9 so that you can do this, 7 for 7, but they also go into depth about things like creating a brand and being invested, having motivation, which is extremely important for this type of stuff. Now, going further, getting your logo, like I said, figuring out your list of suppliers. They also teach you how to contact people and learn what people are trying to rip you off and what people are giving you good deals and how to exactly negotiate good deals with a supplier. Again, super important. Then they start getting into the numbers and all that stuff. Things like ROI, which stands for return on investment. Obviously extremely important for a business in general, let alone Amazon FBA. And then they go more into depth, right? Cutting the fat, like getting rid of stragglers, getting ready to order samples, negotiation hacks. Like I said, so they basically, all the things that they establish, they go a little bit deeper into, because at this point, if you've made it this far into bootcamp, you must be having some sort of investment in there. So then you make it through the boot camp and they say, now what, right? So what I learned is that you're supposed to, so after that you might be thinking, okay, I made it through the boot camp, I can get into this. And maybe you can. Maybe you found that 7 for 7 product and you know exactly what you want. Maybe you found that 7 for 7 product, but maybe there's still like a lot that you need to know about this type of stuff. It is not easy. So in that case, they get really into depth, and you get to learn a lot more about this stuff through weeks. You have week 1, they go into, way more in depth with the lessons, right? Lesson 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 2C, and they get into that. They go into different, if you're not living in the United States, how exactly you can get into this stuff. And then you can also do live coaching calls, which is obviously extremely important. The fact that you can contact these guys, obviously they are very successful, so the fact that they take time to talk to each person that might need help is extremely important. I've spoken to Kale specifically before, which is really cool. The fact that, 2 guys who are so successful don't get like really uppity about it. They're very down to earth, willing to talk to you. That's really cool. And then of course, if they're not available, there's something like FastTrack. You get one-on-one coaching with people that are hired to talk to you about that stuff. You can click on it, it brings up a dialogue box where you can talk to people. So there are all these other things that they provide for the VIP experience, but the boot camp itself is a way for you to get into it, to kind of get a feel for how everything goes. And because of that, I have to say that it's worth your investment. The VIP program is obviously something that goes very far into. The VIP program is obviously going to teach you what you need to know, but the boot camp is going to start you on your way. So, although the boot camp is not what you should be using as the only thing that you take out of it, you don't go into the VIP program, watch the boot camp, and then start doing your business. It's still great to be able to have it so that you can kind of get started with it. So if you've heard about the boot camp, I definitely suggest getting into the boot camp. But like they said in the overview video, and I'm saying now, you should definitely do the rest of the program, because the boot camp is just giving you that little bit of information so that you kind of understand, you kind of warm yourself up to it. You could totally skip the boot camp and go into the program itself. This is all up to you because it's online, there are different modules, you can do it in whatever order is good for you. But I found the boot camp very helpful, and I have to say that it is legit. I know that was a lot to go through, so I hope that answered all your questions, and I hope you enjoyed the video.